Howdy friends, PelicanMan here and welcome back to the channel. I've got a Death and Taxes list that I'm going to play through today. The last time I played Death and Taxes, we were running a classic Death and Taxes list with Leonin Arbiter. For this time, I have decided to test without Arbiter for the first time. I'll be running Esper Sentinel as a 4-of in its place. And because we're not running Arbiter, Path to Exile gets worse, so we are running the full 4 Solitudes here. I've gone back to a more classic setup from last video with the full 4 Thalia, the full 4 Pelicawisp, still on 4 Giver, 4 Vial, 4 Stoneforge, 4 Skyclave, and we've also got the Batterskull, Cauldra, and Maul layout here of our tutorable equipment with Stoneforge Mystic. I prefer more the Skyclave over Sword of Fire and Ice at the moment because since we can be getting Cauldra or Batterskull, if we have the mana to be doing Sword of Fire and Ice, we can kind of just hardcast Batterskull generally anyway, or we can get more and just play it and it equips itself. So kind of happy with that. And also I think with Esper Sentinel, it does the card draw, like card advantage side that we want from Sword of Fire and Ice, and our sideboard has the pro red covered from the Sword of Fire and Ice. So we've got a couple of flex spots. So we are going to test 2 Timeless Dragon. I think this list will grind a bit better and force games into kind of the mid to late game, which we've got this is a 5-mana 5/5, which evades most removal. We can Eternalize from the Graveyard as a 4-mana 4/4 flyer, though it is a 0-drop, so it is vulnerable to Prismatic Ending there. But the early game plane cycling seems interesting as well. We could potentially cut a land there, but I've decided to stick with 23, where I'm comfortable with 2k with the Frost Dragon, 4 canopy effects, the Sunbaked Canyon being the 4th canopy effect there. Still a big fan of Mistress Factory. This is why I'm still on 23, because I like animating Mistress Factory and getting in with it. A bunch of planes, and we've got 4 Tectonic Edge over the Ghost Quarters here. Since we're not running Leonin Arbiter, we don't have as much advantage from Ghost Quarters, so we are going to test Tectonic Edge, which is an old favourite of mine. Even after Field Room got printed, I was still running Tectonic Edge as my extra effects beyond the 4 Ghost Quarter usually. So kind of happy to be back on that here. The sideboard is basically the same as I played it last time. We've got the 2 Burden Forge Tender as a pro red, kind of good against Fury, good against the Ragavan Darcy decks. We've got 3 Sanctifier decks to go with it, which are also like Incidental Grave Hate. We've got 2 Rest in Peace to support them as Grave Hate against the dedicated Graveyard decks. 2 Sanctum Prelate to help a little bit against combo decks. Drown the Magistrate to further help against combo, mostly against the Cascade decks. 2 Leonin Relic Water for any Artifact decks, any Urza Saga decks, and because we've actually gone down to removal, I used to run 4 Path, 4 Skyclave, 2 Solitude. So now I've just got the 4 Skyclave, the 4 Solitude. So I am running the 2 Path to Exiles in the sideboard, just in case we do need a removal in a creature-heavy matchup. We do have access to Path, which still feels very good. When you need it, bringing in the Path, they still feel very good. Like, they could actually still be main deck, but we are running them in the Path, mostly so we can test Timeless Dragon in the main. So with that said, let's get this list into a league. Alrighty, here we go with match number 1 with Death and Taxes without Leonin Arbiter. Alright, so the opening hand, we've got the Solitude, we've got a Giver, we've got a Esper Sentinel. I kind of like mulliganing 7s that don't have Vial or don't have, like, Stoneforge. Like, we don't have either of our 2-drops here, so I'm going to give this one a mulligan. Okay, the 6 is even worse. It would be a keep if we actually had a white source to play this Giver, like, in a second land for the Timeless Dragon, so we'll go to 5. Okay, this one's looking a little better. We can keep this. So we have to put 2 on the bottom, so we'll put the Flickwisp on the bottom. Now, we have the option to put the Timeless Dragon on the bottom or a land. I think I'll just put a 3rd land back. I'll put the Plains back. We've got the Timeless Dragon to Plane cycle. Our opponent leads basic Plains. And Colossus Hammers. So they are Hammer Time. They've got an Ornithopter as well. So this implies they might have a Pure Steel Paladin for next turn. Not much I can do about that. This isn't the best hand. I would have preferred the 7 had I known this was the matchup. We had the Solitude for it. But we'll just play the Cave of the Frost Dragon and pass back. Okay, Memnite. There's the Pure Steel Paladin. They do have Metalcraft now. Equip the Hammer to the Ornithopter. Alright, they get in for 10. Not much I can do about that. Alright, we drew Tectonic Edge. So we could play Thalia and Chump Block whatever's got the hammer on it. That's really all we can afford to do here. Yeah, it's the only way we get to keep playing Magic, I suppose. Play Thalia and pass. Okay, Silent Clearing. They're moving the Colossus Hammer to the Memnite. Sure, what have you got for me? Shadow Spear. Yeah, we just did the Shadow Spear's Trample, so we'll concede game 1 and go to sideboard. Okay, not a great game 1. We got Got a little punish for mulling to 5, but with that said, there wasn't much hope for us. The opponent's hand was very good there. We needed a removal spell to have any hope there. So, looking at our sideboard, Prelate on 1 looks okay. Prelate on 1 looks pretty. I'll probably bring that in. Relic Water also looks good at being able to take away their hammers. And then parts, and that's really all that I'm interested in here. So I'll bring those in. Skyclave's good. Solitudes are good. Dragons might be too slow. I am tempted to leave them in just to keep testing them. Thalia's not... I can trim a Thalia. I can trim a Giver because they shouldn't have much removal. I think Esper Sentinel is potentially fine here. So I kind of like Flickers because it does like unattach their equipment. So maybe I do just have to cut Timeless Dragon here. Maybe it is just too slow. And then... oh, what else? I can probably afford to trim a land here. Like if I trim a Mishra's Factory. I don't hate that. For the last card, probably just the Batterskull, I think. I think we can just get cheeky with Caldera and more for evasion's kind of nice. So let's go with that. Yep, so we'll go on the play. I like this opening 7. We have a removal spell. We've got the Terminal Giver to turn to Stonewatch, which is really nice. We do have some prelates to lead into, so we'll keep. Something I didn't think about here is that prelate on 1 does turn off our path, so we rarely bring in 2, so it's kind of fine. So we'll just leave Plains Giver here and pass to our opponent. Plains from our opponent into a Memnite. Ornithopter, sure. And Sigarda's very, very good start from them. Okay, draw the Skyclave. So I can't hold up path, but I think I just want to get the Caldera into play, or the Caldera into hand. So we'll play the Stoneforge. We will tutor up Caldera. Now the nice thing about Caldera is that it can kind of deal with whatever they put a sword on indefinitely. Like they attack and I just block with the Caldera and the Caldera gets 8, so that's kind of nice. Here we'll just leave our Giver to protect our Stoneforge, pass to our opponent. Okay, our opponent has a Stoneforge as well. Now they do have Lurrus as companions, so they can't have a Caldera themselves. This is probably just getting Hammer. Yeah, they do just get a Hammer. So this tells me, or it implies they don't actually have a Hammer in hand. So, gee, the ball's a bit late, huh? I'm probably just going to hold up my Stoneforge activation so that if they put Hammer in attack, I can just eat with the Caldera. I think I am just going to do that. Their clock's better than ours if they put the Hammer into play. And they're implying they only have a single Hammer. Well, because of Sigarda's, they can instant spin, so maybe that was a reason to Caldera there. Oh, this is clever. They're attacking with just the Ornithopter. I think I'm just going to let this ride and just path it. I think that's probably better. Okay, they Hammer on the Ornithopter. And now we path. So holding up the activation there let us do this line, which was actually probably the best line to turn off us dropping the Caldera, but I think that's fine. Okay, give reverse from our opponent. So a Skyclave here would be nice. Third land for the Skyclave. Another Stoneforge. Alright, I'm just going to get our clock into play and play this Caldera. Get in for 5. And if we don't draw a land, we can deploy the Vial, which might be helpful. 5th Plains for our opponent, so they're kind of flooding out. They have a Needle. I don't know, the Needle Giver? That sounds like their Giver as well, so I think I'm fine with that. Oh, they need Tectonic Edge. Sure, you've only got Basics opponent. Oh, Pure Steel? Come on. Yep, so they load up the Memnite. Jeez. I'll give it Pro White, sure. Alright, they hit me for 11, that's fine. And they move to the Stoneforge, sure. Jeez, drawing a land for play one of these Skyclaves would be nice. Playing the Stoneforge to get more. That doesn't really help us. I'm just going to play the Vial here and pass our opponent. So they have to pre-blocks pro-black when it's got the Hammer so that my Caldera can't block it. So then I'll just block with Stoneforge and give pro-white with Giver. Or pro-colorless if needed. They just bought their Lurrus. Moving Hammer to Memnite, sure. Attacking with Stoneforge? I don't get this attack. Well, if they have a way to deal with Caldera, I'll just let this ride. Oh, I'm an idiot. That was bait. They want to lure us back that Stoneforge. That's their plan. Because they want to get their Shadow Spear. Okay, so I need land to be able to play Prelate on 1. No, they can just use Stoneforge to drop in the Shadow Spear then. Man, I fell for that bait real hard, huh? So yeah, we draw the land now, of course. Well, I can just take the Hammer. Skyclave take hammer. So if a Skyclave and take away their hammer, the Stoneforge kind of has to get another hammer, which is fine. Yeah, let's do that. Just thinking, if we take away Giver here, they can't protection. So whatever they give the Shadow Spear to, so if they leave it on Lurus, it becomes 14. I would take 6, and I would technically live. But they could use Shadow Spear to get rid of Caldra's or the Germs indestructible. Yeah, I'll just take the hammer. Now that I've taken a hammer, I kind of like getting in with Caldra. What's the punish? That's not really a punish. Yeah. Oh, if they draw another hammer. Yeah, I think if they draw another hammer in Trolls, I kind of just need a pass here. This game would have been a lot easier if I'd drawn a land earlier, or if I hadn't fallen for that bait so hard. Yep, here's the Stoneforge. Unfortunately, they have Paladins. They get to draw off this. Yeah, they got the hammer. That's fine. I can't do anything with it this turn. And I can just Skyclave that hammer next turn. Okay, hammer on the Lurus, sure. Inkmoth Nexus. That is a problem. Jeez. We can't have it all. We've got the second Giver. Smart enough to not attack with Lurus. Alright, Vile takes up to 2. Esper Sentinel doesn't do anything for us. So now they're giving protection from 2 colors. They have the Inkmoth. Yeah, I think we just go Skyclave, take away their hammer again. And I still can't attack because I don't want them to just chump up with Stoneforge and get an equipment for free. So yeah, we'll just... I can attack and pro white. That's probably pretty good. So I've got them on a 3-turn clock now. And they're out of cards. So this way all they can do is chump block with Memnite to take 1 less. Sure, Animate Inkmoth, chump block, and it drops to a 4-4. I mean, getting rid of their Inkmoth is kind of huge for us. Okay, so they only take 3 this turn, and... Oh, that's clever, giving their Inkmoth pro black, sure. Okay. Alright, bring Memnite back from the grave. Yep, so they get to do that every turn. They found a Saga. That's kind of annoying. So I need to kill them before this Saga goes off. Alright, giving Lurus pro white, sure. Yeah, we'll just take 3. It's not a good start. Well, Vile and the Stoneforge, so only their Inkmoth will be able to block once we get the Maul. So take Maul with Skyclave. Now we'll tick Vile up to 3. And see what we draw. Leonin Relic Water. That's frustrating. Would have liked to have left the Vile on 2 there. So maybe I don't play Maul. Maybe I just have to Relic Water their Saga. And then Prelate on 1. Yeah, that's pretty good. Take away Needle. No, just take away Saga. Now, can I get in with anyone? I think it's on 15, so probably not. Yeah, we're not going to attack with anyone. And we'll just file in the Prelate. Yes, Sanctum Prelate. Choose 1. And pass. Okay, they're just going to give Lurus Pro Black and Pro White here. Because that'd be kind of loose to tap out of both the givers here. Okay. Yeah, they just pass. Sure. We're going to say no to Lurus. That's Vile. Because I don't want to get the second Sanctum. Do I tick it up so I don't want to get Solitude? 2 gives in play. And a bunch of crap in hand. Yeah, whatever. Let's take it up to 4. We drew Skyclave. Well, I kind of just have to play this Skyclave, huh? Yeah, let's play the Skyclave. We'll take away the giver that can't get protected by another giver. What do you have? Animate Inkmoth? Sure. Oh, they're just giving their Inkmoth pro black preemptively. Sure. Can I get him with someone now? So I attack with everyone. They can't protection anything. So I can leave what? Stoneforge back. I want to leave Relic Water back. Can't really afford to attack with anyone, so I'll just pass. Yeah. I think we're winning the long game here. Opponent might have Lurus, but they're still not happy to be in top deck mode, I would assume. Sacrifice Sunbaked Canyon straight away. Prismatic Ending. Okay, where's this going? The Germ. Okay, so I'll give it a give pro white in response. Do you have an instant to respond with opponent? Alright, that seems kind of loose. They have to have like a dismember or something here, surely. No? I mean, we've been playing with givers all game, opponent. You should know how they work by now. Alright, the Vile's gone up to 5 now, so Solitude's off the top. Really dope. We found Esper Sentinel. So, play out an Esper Sentinel, I suppose. Yeah, why not? We just want to add to the board here. Yep, so we'll play the Maul. Use the Stoneforge to do it. Okay, so Germ's looking pretty healthy here. So they can use their Giver to get their Ink Moth protection from black here. Gee, maybe I shouldn't have attacked, because now they can get in with their Lurus and give it pro-white. What is this? No, they are activating Giver. Okay. But if they do that, then they can't do this again. Okay, they're down to 10. We might be able to Alpha Strike next turn. They have another Ink Moth. That's rough. Yep, so they're getting it for 3 here. They're getting with Stoneforge as well. That's fine. We'll just bounce with our Stoneforge. We're not falling for that trick again, opponent. Okay. Not much I can do with what I have now, so let's just untap. Yes, we will not tick up our Aether Vial. Leonin Relic Water. Okay, so my opponent's got 3 blockers. They have 1 card in hand, so they got 3 blockers. So, assuming they ignore this, they block like 3 2-power things. So it's 1, 2, 3. So assume they block here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12, 13. It's exactly lethal if they have nothing. The question is, do I need to? I'm kind of in a good position here. So if I Relic Water there, they've got 3 blockers. They're going to block 3 2/2s. Because if they block this, then more damage gets through. Right? Because I like just trample over. So that's like essentially only blocking 1. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11, 12, 13. It's Exactsies. I'm just going to go for it. I feel like this is going to be sick if it works. Okay. I know they say math is for blockers, but I think we needed to do the maths there because that is attacking for Exactsies. Okay, they've just blocked the Leonin Relic Water with Pure Steel, so they get their Saga back, but they'll die? Yeah, Neg 4, there we go. Let's go on to sideboarding before game number 3. Okay, so that went pretty well. Jeez, I am tempted to bring the land back in because we are heavy on 3 drops. What don't we like? Everything kind of was nice. Sentinel is maybe not its best, but getting 1 drops down might be relevant. If I was to cut all the Sentinels, what could I do? I could bring back in the Giver, the Mishra's Factory, a Batterskull, a Timeless Dragon. I kind of don't care about the 4th Giver. Let's try this. Let's start cutting the 4 Sentinels. We'll bring back in the Factory. Yeah, I'm happy with the Thunder and the Giver. Let's just bring the Batterskull and the 2 Timeless Dragons. Let's see what that does for us. Let's go. Yeah, I'm not sure if that sideboarding was correct, but it's worth testing, I think. This hand's good unless they have an ending for the Vial. But then even if I draw a land, it's good. And I have the Solitude for even if I don't, and these Skyclaves are really good. We're going to be greedy and keep. We did board back up to 23 lands, so it should be good. They have an Urza Saga. It's fine. It's a Springleaf Drum. No 0-drop? No 0-drop. Okay. We are vulnerable here, though. We are really leaning on this Aether Vial. Pass it back. Alright, Saga gets second counter. Unless they have a 0-drop, they can't make a construct yet. They have an Ornithopter. Okay. Guess they were making sure it wouldn't be vulnerable. Yeah, they're just passing back with the ability to make a construct. Little tick file up to 1. We didn't hit a land. That's unfortunate. Yeah, just going to pass it back. Which means this Saga will probably get Needle on Vial, seeing how vulnerable we are. Okay, they make their construct. Yeah, I've got to assume that this Saga just wants to get Pithing Needle to name Aether Vial. So I am going to respond. Which it's fine if they do. We can still draw a land and be out of this. So go ahead, opponent. They got a hammer. So they've got Pure Steel. Okay. They're equipping Ornithopter. I kind of want to get rid of Pure Steel, but I just have to get rid of this Ornithopter here, surely. Yeah, because afterwards I can kind of block forever once I get a second creature down. Got another one. So I just have to Solitude the Pure Steel here. We'll exile a Liquid, because if we get to what these Skyclaves is just better. Yeah, so we're going to take away the Pure Steel here, because this hammer's going to go on the construct anyway, so one of these is going to be able to get through regardless. So what we're going to do here, I should have done it before they actually got, I let them get the draw trigger because I wasn't thinking. But we take out the Pure Steel here, because this way they can't equip the second hammer. So we'll still get hit by this, well actually we'll probably get hit by both. But next time we can play a Thalia and just like block and protect. Oh, okay. If they're smart, they'll get in with both. Yeah. So if I draw a land, am I good? No. This sucks. So I have to take this here. Yeah, we'll tick file up. Land? We drew the land. Okay. So what we have to do here is double block these to protect the Thalia. The next turn Skyclave gets us out of it. And I'm going to hardcast the Thalia, so if they have an answer, we can still violate a Thalia. Hope we're going to get punished for letting them draw that card off the Pure Steel. Pink Moth, drawing off Sunbay Canyon, that looks really good for us. I think once we get this Skyclave down, we'll be looking pretty good. They have another Ornithopter, that doesn't do anything. Give us annoying. Give us very annoying. Jeez. Okay, so we just gotta chump block both. And then give Thalia Pro Colorless so she gets to stick around. Which is kind of irrelevant because we have the backup Thalia anyway, but oh well. Hope to draw a land here. Maul. Okay, so that's not a land. So they could just pro this and murder me. Yeah, I can't really do anything because, like, I want to take away this hammer, but then they just give this pro white and get in. It would be nice if one of these was a Mistress Factory. If I take down this, they get attacked with both of these, and I can't block both of them. Or can I? No, I can. So I'll play the Skyclave. Skyclave, chump, chump. Yeah, I guess that's what I gotta do. So we'll just do this now because we don't want them to untap with the Giver. Okay, take away Giver of Runes. Pass to our opponent. They have another Saga. Jeez. Okay, so we're just chomping with both our creatures here. I'm supposed to take away the hammer, like this would drop to a 4/4, but any artifact we would have been dead. So this gives them a 1/1 from the Skyclave dying, that's fine. What do they got? Buying Lyris, okay. We'll leave Vial on 3. We found Mishra's Factory, okay. So we want a Skyclave, take away hammer, play Thalia, so Thalia can chump block constructs. Yeah, that's probably what I want to do. Yeah, let's do that. Play Thalia. And just pass. Holding up Vial on 3 means they might play around something else. I don't know, they might be worried we have something scarier than a Skyclave. I don't know, let's see how they attack. Get him with the Spirit as well, huh? Okay, let's do this now. Yes, we will use 8th Vial's ability. Drop Skyclave. Skyclave away the hammer. Which I probably should have blocked first. That was probably wrong. Oh, no, this means I get to block these. So we want to trade off the Thalia. Skyclave can eat the 1/1. Okay, back to us. Leave Vial on 3. Timeless Dragon. I'm going to plane cycle that so we can animate Mishra's Factory as a blocker. And we'll pass there, I think. Yeah, pass turn. They make another construct in end step, that's fine. This could just be another construct here. Yep. Oh, they can get Shadow Spear. I probably just lose to Shadow Spear, don't I? Piping Needle? They're going to name Mishra's Factory and I'm dead. Lovely. Are they going to name Aether Vial? They should name Mishra's Factory. Yep, they name Mishra's Factory and we'll pack it in there. Alright, so close match number 1. We will move on to match number 2. Alrighty, match number 2 with Arbiterless Taxes. We get to go first. This opening hand stinks. We have 23 lands. I don't know why we always see hands like this. This hand is better. Not much better, but better. We will keep in bottom a second Solitude. We'll keep one as just an emergency Solitude, but I don't think with a mull we can afford to pitch to 2 Solitudes, and they might not even be good in the matchup, so we will keep this bottom Solitude, and let us begin. I'm going to lead Tectonic Edge. It tells them, well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We have no double white spells, so there's no point leaning on counter because we can't like draw a double white spell and a land anyway. Okay, just a Scalding Tarn from them. Ooh, Timeless Dragon. Because of Scalding Tarn, I'm going to lead Thalia, even though my heart wants to play the plane cycle of Timeless Dragon. Well, they're F6, or yield until my end step at least. So next turn, I'm probably going to play Stoneforge, even if I don't have a land. Because this is a matchup I wouldn't mind just getting to 5 and hardcasting Timeless Dragon if that's what it comes to. Okay, they're just not fetching at all. I guess they're insulating themselves from Ghost Quarter. Okay, second Stoneforge is very nice. So this will force a lot of removal out of them. I'm going to grab Caldra because we have another Stoneforge anyway. Get in with Thalia. They're priced into wanting to deal with Stoneforge, so it means my Thalia might just be safe here. Yeah, they just let it through. Okay, now we're fetching. Basic Island, sure. Double Basic Island. Thought Scale themselves. Hitting Faithful Salvaging and Thought Scale, so they're Phoenix by the look of it. Surely they can't let me untap with the Stoneforge Mystic. They are indeed letting me untap with the Stoneforge Mystic, okay. We're just going to put Caldra into play. Okay. Let's go to combat. Get in with Thalia and Caldra. Okay. Pass it to them. Turn 2 Thalia was possibly the best thing we could have played against this matchup. I think my opponent was yielded until my end step there, and me playing Thalia punished them. They probably should have thought Scatter response. If it was paper, they would have, but I think they just were trying to save some clock there and got mass punished by it being a turn 2 Thalia. Which turn 1 Tech Edge, I suppose it was hard to read, whereas turn 1 Canopy might have led them more into that. They just got a Faithful Mending here, that is fine. Okay, back up to 8. They discarded Demolish and Arclight Phoenix. Okay, so these are the two big reanimation targets. Cool, cool. If I naturally draw a land here, I can just Stoneforge and then suit this up with a Maul the Skyclave, which could be cool. Alright, they shock into Steam Vents. Gotta be a really good turn for them, or they're just dead. Metamorphose is a start. Prismatic Ending. Okay, yeah, they had to use 2 colors for that. That's probably it. Targeting my Germ, that's fine. And they can't do anything with this blue mana, so it's just going to be my turn, because the Demolish costs 2, because it costs 2 spells. And we still have Thalia. Okay, so we drew the Mishra's Factory, so we can Stoneforge and activate the other Stoneforge. Or we could flicker the Caldra. I don't want to flicker the Caldra. Or we could Tech Edge their Sacred Foundry and play a Stoneforge. So if we draw a land next time, we're just going to slam this Timeless Dragon. Okay, we'll play out the Mishra's Factory. Play Stoneforge. Hold on, there's 3 here. Yeah, we can't get into the lethal. We're 1 point off being able to lethal them with getting Maul the Skyclave. But we will still get it. Do I just threaten it? No, sorry, I can't, because I'd have to activate this anyway. We will Tech Edge their Sacred Foundry and choke their mana a little bit harder. And get in for 3. Put them to 3, pass them. So they got to do something pretty good here. We have the Maul in hand. We have the Mishra's Factory in play. They're dead to like a lot of what's going on. Like they kind of need to answer the Thalia because she's the strongest, or like both of these, but then the Factory's still lethal. I don't think there's any way out for them here. I think that Tech Edge was correct. It chokes them on mana, chokes them on red sources, which like helps support what Thalia's doing. Which is why I think Tech Edge is a fine replacement for Ghost Quarter in these Arbiterless lists. Okay, they're cracking Flooded Strand. They're on 2. They're in even more danger now. They shock into Steam Vents. That's one way to concede. We'll get a sideboard for game 2. I kind of like Bone and Forge Tender, but I don't think it's necessary. I think Sanctifying Back does enough, being Grave Hate, and like there isn't like Fortunator's pro red, so they can't kill it, which I'd rather just have this. So like putting a Maul Skyclave on this is going to be a very fast clock, so I do like that. Path is an option. Draft Magistrate's an option. Kind of easy for them to kill, but it does stop them flashing back their Faithful Mendings, and it does stop them casting Demolishes from their graveyard. The rest of these has got to be good here. Prelate on 2's probably worth it, actually. I don't know that I want Skyclaves here. I don't know that Flicker Wisp is doing anything. Arclight Phoenix just stonewalls Flicker Wisp pretty well, but they showed us ending, so like Flicker Wisp being Caldra is an option. Esper Sentinel's got to be very good here. Giver's got to be good. Vial is fine. Vial's always fine. Valley is really good. There's kind of not much I want to cut. I could see cutting Solitude. Unfortunately, I think Timeless Dragon is too slow here, so we're probably going to cut those. So the choice is between leaving in Skyclaves or leaving in Solitudes, I think. I've got to choose one of those. It's like Skyclave deals with their things, and then if they kill it, they just get a generic 4/4. But the 4/4 is scary, whereas Solitude like is kind of fine. do their thing permanently, leave behind a 3/2 lifelinker. Let's assume we're doing this. And then what? I think Drowned is kind of too vulnerable to all their removal. Definitely want Sanctifiers. We can probably trim equipment. Probably the Batterskull. I think Keldra's too strong. We'll trim the Batterskull here. Yeah, we definitely want Rest in Peace. And then I think Sanctum Prelate. Yeah, and then the question is whether we want these Dranaths over what, like some Flick Wisps or something? No, I think it's fine. Let's just submit like that, using up all of our sideboarding time. This hand is not ideal. This is where we might need to reconsider something our Mana's doing, because we have Sanctifier in hand, so it could, like, there is an issue here. We will mulligan this, even though we have some good sideboard stuff. We just, like, have to draw a white, and it's not happening. We need to draw a white again, but we only need one white for this hand to get going, so I think we can keep... Jeez, how bad is it if we go to 5? If we go to 5 and find a Sanctifier or a Rip for turn 2... Turn 2 Thalia is still really good. Yeah, we'll just mulligan. Okay, we'll keep this based on the strength of Vial. It's really greedy to want to keep both of these Vials. I think I have to bottom and give a... Definitely want to keep Sentinel, definitely want to keep the land. Okay, so I just bottom Solitude and keep double Vial. Let's try it. It's very greedy, but I think keeping double Vial is a little less greedy than not. Although they shouldn't have answered except Prismatic Ending, so... lead Scalding Town here and just pass to us. Okay, another Esper Sentinel's a really good top deck. Just play out our 8th Vial and pass. So next turn we'll Vial in a Sentinel as soon as possible. Play another Vial. If I draw a land, I'll just play the other Esper Sentinel as well. Okay, man step they get an untapped Steam Vents and Thought Scale themselves. Ooh, milling over Prismatic Ending, that's really good for us. Ooh, here's a Sacred Boundary. Please don't have a Prismatic Ending opponent. Metamorphose, okay. It's an interesting Metamorphose. They filtered away from white, so that's good for us. Another Metamorphose. Jeez, this is scary. Do they just have the nuts? Salvaging, discarding, yep, a Phoenix, okay. Jeez. I mean, that was very good for them, but I don't think one Phoenix is enough here. I mean, it might be, my current hand sucks, but... Drew the Stoneforge, okay. Just play another Vial. Yes, we'll use 8th of Vial's ability. Do I want to probably give us so I can protect this Stoneforge next turn? I think I do. I think because they've already got the Arclight down, I can kind of get away with doing that. God, they get to start with salvaging here, so they might even have another good turn this turn. Alright, they just kind of considered. That's a good sign for us. Okay, Cracking Strand. Shocking in Hallowed Fountain. They've taken a lot of damage from their mana here. Okay, starting with a Consider. But on the plus side, this hand's probably better against this draw than a Rest in Peace hand would have been anyway. Or a Sanctifier in back hand. Because they did all this nonsense before I got to 2 mana anyway. Or I would have got to 2 mana. Where on the Vial is fine. We've got a backup Vial. Just means we get to deploy Stoneforge next turn, unfortunately. And they Gutshot me? Oh, they have a Demilich. Gross. Oh, they should have Gutshot Giver because they could have... Oh, it's when he attacks they get to cast a copy. Okay. Another Demilich? Jeez. Okay, this is the nut draw from our opponent, it looks like. Bit late for you. Alright, we're just going to pass our opponent here. No, I should have Vialed in a Sentinel. I'm not going to get to draw a card now. Unless they fetch. Okay, let's try our other Vial. We're not coming back from this. Let's go to game 3. Okay. Do I want, like, Paths, Dranath Magistrates? Do I... You know what? I'm not a fan of Flickerwisp. Let's just take out Flickerwisp. Bring in Paths and Dranath Magistrates. I think that's good. Do I want to cut Keldra is the question. Maybe Batterskull's just good enough. Let's do this. Alright, we get to go first now. Show us a good hand for once. Yeah, that's a good hand. Alright, nice one. We get to turn 2 Rest in Peace on the play. Seems real good. And then we'll get to turn 3 Dranath Magistrate with Giver of Runes for protection. Our opponent shocked it as Steam Vents and passed it back. Alright, tick Vial up to 1. Let's just slam Rest in Peace. Kind of no reason not to. Like, there's no point playing the Dranath over it or the Giver, because the Giver's going to get Vialed in. The Dranath is kind of doing just as little, and like we have the Vial here for it. Okay, our opponent's got Basic Island, and they're just passing it back. Alright. We will Vial in Giver of Runes. We will tick up our Vial to 2. Are they thinking about wearing it? No? Okay. Path's a cool draw. I think I just want to get Draneth down now. Draneth's in play. Giver's protecting it. We'll just pass back. So I think we're probably going to pop Sunbait Canyon to try and find like a 3-drop to Violin in our opponent's end step. What are they up to? Faithless Salvaging. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I don't think you'll get to cast that on Rebound. I think Draneth stops that. Let's have a look at their exile. Okay. They put the Rebound on the stack. I don't believe you can cast it from their opponent. I'm pretty sure this tries to cast. Let's have a little read-a-doodle. You may cast from exile, yep. You can only cast from your hand, opponent. Okay, opponent has conceded that Faithful Salvaging will not get cast. They're popping their Scalding Tarn, shocking it in. Alright. Implying they have something. So, because I have this path and I have like nothing going on, I don't think I'm going to try and like hit land drops to play this Batterskull. And if I do, I'd kind of just like to hit like a Mishra's Factory or something and start getting in with it. So we'll draw a card, seeing if it tells us what we want to do with this Aether Vial. Lightning Bolt the Giver of Runes. Sure. Suppose I'll protect my boy in response. Okay. And we drew Plains, so that's fine. We will tick Vial up to 3. So if I draw a 2-drop, we'll just play it and still get to hold up this path. Another Draneth Magistrate. Okay. Let's play out the boy. Okay, that went well. Let's get in with this one. If they have removal, you can use it anyway. I don't believe they can have any creature. If they do, we do have the option of path. Yeah, just get in for 1. Our opponent's dealt them enough damage if they lands anyway that these Draneths might be able to get frisky. They're doing nothing yet again. Okay. Question is, I want to take Vial up to 4 to try and take it up to 5. I cut the Timeless Dragons, I believe. There is view sideboard. Here we go. You've cut Timeless Dragons. Still got Solitudes in, but I think I want to like hit land drops anyway. I can kind of cast anything I play. So I've got all my... I've taken all my Flickers and all my Skyclaves. So it doesn't even do anything on 3. Yeah, why not? Why not? I suppose I'll just get in to start with. So because I'm going to take this up to 5, I will just cast this Rest in Peace post-combat. Because I put out so many 3-drops, I think taking Vial up to 5 makes a lot of sense to be able to get the Solitude as a creature in play. Because we do need a clock here. Play out the second Rest in Peace, so my blue-red opponent shouldn't be able to deal with both of these at once. Faithless Salvaging, sure. Discarding Hallowed Fountain. That yet again will not be able to be rebound because of Draneth Magistrate. Okay, opponent's got another land. So I mean, they can start hardcasting Demolitions and Arclight Phoenixes now. They're fetching, so that might be what they're doing. Bolting a Draneth Magistrate, sure. Casting Demolish, okay. Just going to path that now, just so I can get in for 1 with my Draneth. We really need to find a clock here. Okay, so we tick Vial up to 5. Just pray to find a Solitude at some point. Cave of the Frost Dragon's not the worst. So we've got a lot of good draws now. Like we've kind of drawn all of our bad stuff, been drawing both of our Draneths and both of our Rips. So now our next land, let's just cast Batterskull. A land after that, let's just animate Cave of the Frost Dragon. Our opponent appears to still have nothing. They're casting where on it? Aether Vial. That's fine. I mean, I can kind of almost hardcast anything at this point. Did they fail to find off the path? They did fail to find a basic off the path. We drew the Solitude. That's kind of unfortunate, but again, it makes our next land we draw pretty good. I mean, if we draw a land, we're leading Batterskull, but we get to follow up with Solitude, so it's kind of fine. Our opponent's on 5 lands, 3 cards. Alright, here's an Arclight Phoenix. If I find land, I will just Solitude that away. Alright, Horizon Canopy. Do I just want a Batterskull? Kinda just want a Batterskull. Yeah, let's do that. So they don't have any white mass, so they can't Prismatic any the Germ. I think this looks good here. This, I think, gives us a nice clock here. We get to kill them over 2 turns. Which I suppose we would do with the Solitude and the Draneth anyway. But they would gain life, so maybe not as ideal. Okay, they're getting it for 3 again. Okay. So they're on 8. Yeah, I'm just going to Solitude. Hardcast the Solitude. Get out of here, Arclight Phoenix. So they go to 11. We get in for 5 here. Put them to 6. Next time we'll be attacking for 8. Plus we gain 4 up to 16. And concession from our opponent. Awesome. So that is match number 2 in the bag. We're currently 1-1. Let's get into match number 3. All right, we found an opponent for match number 3. This hand's honestly really solid. We are missing a 1-drop. I mean, we have 8th Vial, but I would like a Giver to protect the Stoneforge or the Thalia that we lead into, or even an Esper Sentinel, which we haven't seen Esper Sentinel in any of our opening hands, but we got the Solitude and stuff. This is a very solid keep, even on the draw. Alright, they kept a 7 there, fetching with Scalding Tarn. Steam Vents untapped. And a Ragavan, okay. Very interesting. Ooh, another 8th Vial, okay. So we'll lead 8th Vial. Probably should have let it off the Mishra's Factory, actually. Nah, it shouldn't matter. Question is whether we Solitude this Ragavan or not. I'll see if we can get some more information from them before making a decision. Because we're going to try and tax them with Thalia. I don't like them getting a treasure here. So I am going to Solitude, pitching Flicker Wisp. We've done it at the beginning of combat because this keeps them from being able to dash in a Ragavan. Ragavan goes bye-bye. My opponent gains 2 life back. They do have a second land. Okay. We'll tick Vial up to 1. Okay, the Frost Dragon was a good draw. I really wish I'd let on this Mistress Factor, actually. I am going to Thalia here to tax them. So in response, they'll counterspell. Okay. A little unfortunate, but it's fine. I suppose I could have just vialed everything in, but like I kind of want to force an issue there. Alright, here comes Ragavan. Sure thing. You get a treasure. They didn't have a 3rd land. Okay, good to know, good to know. Let's tick Vial up to 2. Another Solitude? Well, I can't really use that one. So we'll play the Mishra's Factory, cast another 8th Vial, and we are going to attempt to trade Mishra's Factory for Ragavan. Yep, here comes that boy. So they attack. I'm going to animate Mishra's Factory, trade it for Ragavan. Cool. Alright, that's good. They had no other follow-up. So let's hope the Stoneforge Mystic's good. Because I just traded a land, I kind of want to just go for Caldera here. They have to have, like, a 1-mana removal spell off this treasure, which they probably do. But, like, I mean, I can't get Maul here. Maul doesn't do anything. So it's just Batterskull, which, like, we're nowhere near hardcasting anyway. So we'll just get Caldera and be greedy. Well, we got to untap. That's awesome. Oh, this is tough. So let's see what happens here. Use 8th Vial's ability. Yes. And yes. Right? Yeah, I want to take this one up to 3. Alright, Drew Plains, that's cool. Let's just activate Stoneforge. Put Caldera into play. And this should be enough to close out the game pretty quickly. Oh, they sacked their treasure. Archmage Charm. Ooh, okay. That is a concern. Okay. So we're going to leave the 2nd Vial on 3 for now. When I get to tick the other Vial up to 3, I'll start taking this towards 5. Flicker Wisp was an amazing draw. Okay, just get in with Stoneforge. So if I do it in my end step, it'll come back in their end step, which means they can't do sorcery speed things. I think it's fine. See if them thinking they get to attack with this changes anything about their turn. Play a Fiery Islet, okay. Okay, I'll activate the Vial on 3. We will use 8th Vial's ability, put Flicker Wisp into play. We will flicker Caldera complete, which means in the end step will come back onto my side of the battlefield and Living Weapon will trigger and create a new germ. They're just hardcasting a Ragavan. That's fine. Okay, so that comes back now. Makes a new germ. Okay, so the question is here whether we want to start ticking up a Vial towards casting Solitude. Doesn't matter, our opponent just concedes and draws the next 4 cards, I guess. Let's go to sideboarding in the what appears to be blue-red Ragavan matchup. So Sanctifier Invec is very, very good. Forge Tender is good against turn 1 Ragavans. I don't like Dranith. I don't like Rip. I don't like Relic Water. I don't mind Prelate. Like Prelate on 3 to stop their Archmage Charm, so then my Caldera could be a thing. I don't think I need Path. I feel like Timeless Dragon's got to be really good in this matchup. I want to leave him in. Flicker Wisps seem fine. I could trim a Thalia, but I don't really need to. Sentinel looks good. Giver looks good. Because I have counterspells I like leaving in the vials. I think I can... Let's have a look at my equipment package. Let's just say we want to bring in these 5 because we won game 1, so we can probably sideboard lighter. So we'll trim Athalia. Solitude seems fine. Maybe I don't need it because I'm bringing in Forge Tenders to deal with like turn 1 Ragavans. Or maybe because I'm bringing all this, I can cut Caldra and just like lean into this stuff. Although they don't have Pro Blue, so Archmage's Charm can steal Forge Tender. But I can sack it. It's tough whether what I want to trim, but I need to cut like 4 of something. If I cut Caldra, I can cut the Flick Wisps as well and just like turn off that whole plan of my opponents. Let's try that. Does that seem good? Because I kind of want to leave the Solitudes in because of Murktide region. Maybe that's the reason I want to bring in Paths. I don't think so. I think Skyclaves are good. I take out Ragavans and Darcy's. Maybe Skyclaves aren't good. So I could like take out these 5 instead. Let's try that. I like Caldra too much to I want to find an excuse to leave Caldra in. But that is something we can do for game 3, depending how this goes. We don't have a second white source for the Sanctifiers. We have the Caldras. I think we're going to mulligan based on that, even though Mistress Factory is kind of nice. We are on the draw. We have double Sanctifier, but we have Caldra. Double Factory with a Giver. Yeah, we'll mulligan. I like this. I actually really like this. We'll keep this. We'll bottom Maul. Any land lets us Plane Cycle an Eternal Dragon, a Timeless Dragon. Like, I don't hate the idea of just, lasting long enough to take this file up to 5 and just like start vialing in these dragons. Also, keeping it 1 lander means that we have more lands in our deck, so our opponent's Ragavan is inherently worse. Just because it might hit lands off the top. Steam Vents are nothing. That's what I like. Opponent leads Steam Vents. So Spell Pierce is the only thing I'm concerned of here. Really? Why do you even have Spell Pierce in this match? That's absolutely mental. Sure. No, I will not pay 2 for Spell Pierce targeting 8th Vial. That's insane. Honestly insane. If I had have had any thought they might do that, I would have just let Esper Sentinel, honestly. So we drew a land, so just gonna try Esper Sentinel. They might have Counterspell here. They kind of have to cast whatever they're going to cast in response to this anyway, so this forces action. No? Okay. Giver of Runes then. Spell Pierce is so... like, it's literally only 8th Vial that it tags. It's crazy. Okay, Thought Scale, you're going to pay for my Esper Sentinel. They are paying for Esper Sentinel. That's great for me. They mill over a Braid and Spire Bluff Canal. Nice. E for 0, paying the 1 for the Sentinel tax? Does that work? I know it works against Thalia, but does it work against Sentinel? It does not. It does not. Whenever opponent casts... because this isn't adding a cost to the explosives. The explosives, you haven't paid 1 for the explosives. You've it's like paying for Arbiter, right? You're paying for the Sentinel. Our opponents let us know in the chat that they were also unsure of how that worked, and they've learnt their lesson. I mean, it makes sense, like, because if it had have worked, they would have been able to pop it now. Whereas if they had have paid 2, then like they wouldn't have been able to pop it straight away. So it makes a lot of sense as to why they did it. Ooh, Forge Tender. Forge Tender. Let's plane cycle one of these dragons for a planes. Play the Forge Tender. If I hadn't drawn a land, if I hadn't drawn a 1-drop, I was probably just playing Sanctifier there. But this is like nice. What's my opponent got in response to this? Unholy Heat on the Giver. Yeah, that makes sense because this Forge Tender was gonna be a pretty hard lock with this Giver of Runes. And they paid for the Sentinel as well, sure. Okay, we'll pass it back. So next turn, depends what we draw, but I'm tempted to just Plane Cycle Timeless, cast Sanctifier, because that'll give me the 4 mana I need to start eternalizing these Timeless Dragons, although my opponent has shown us Archmage's Charm, and that can steal an eternalized Timeless Dragon. I'll lead Esper Sentinel, mostly because this forces action from them. Otherwise they'll have to pay 2 Sentinel taxes. Alright, they've shocked into Steam Vents. Alright, they're going to draw 2 cards with Archmage's Charm. Good to see an Archmage's Charm gone. And they paid for the tax on my current Sentinel. Alright, I'll just play the Sanctifier and just get in. The nice thing about having Forge Tender here is that it can attack, whereas Giver's got a tap ability. This is a sack ability, so we can just kind of get in for it. Get in with it for free a lot of the time. Is this going to be a Unholy Heat on a Sentinel? Yep. So they've paid for it. Since I paid 3, I'm tempted. Yeah, I'm just going to trade my 1 mana Baradin Forge Tender for it. That source. Prevent all damage that source would deal, please. And because I've got the Sanctifier as well, it means I've got a creature that's pretty immune to whatever they're going to do. And also the fact that they can Archmage's Charm, steal the Baradin Forge Tender means that sacking it off is relatively free. So we've got 2 card types in bin. I like drawing land. I'm kind of okay with trading an Esper Sentinel off for this Dragon's Rage Channeler. Which is kind of weird considering I was saying before I'm willing to spend my 1 mana fortune to trade with the 3 mana Unholy Heat that they tried to cast. So they're getting to trade a 1 mana here for a 1 mana. But the difference is, like, this is going to be card advantage for them, like our Sentinels are trying to be card advantage for us. And I just kind of want to get that potential flyer out of the way so that I can eternalize my Timeless Dragon. Very excited to have done this for the first time ever, hoping my opponent doesn't just Archmage's Charm it here. Nicely, Sanctifier is pro-black, so if they do steal it, they can't just like chump block my Sanctifier. Jeez, alright. Esper Sentinel down. I've got it. Land? Land? Oof. Oh no, another Sanctifier. How unfortunate. Just going to attack for 6 here. What is this? Oh yeah, E for 0. Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Alright. Well, because they won't have sweepers, I'm pretty comfortable to just play out the Sanctifier. I could Planescycle this Timeless Dragon and cast it next turn. Like, eternalize it next turn. I kind of just want to... Yeah, because that stops from being able to be countered. So let's do that. And again, like, they can't steal it effectively because the Sanctifiers get through it because they're pro-black. I think while they're tapped out, just doing this makes a lot of sense. And so I can do that. Like, if I start flooding, I do have a Canopy here. And Planescycle the Timeless Dragon. Oh, apparently I did that in response to my Sanctifier and Vex ETB. That's fine. I will play out my planes as my land return and pass. Alright, consider from my opponent. Nice thing about these Sanctifiers is they do keep my opponent's graveyard relatively low for if they do have a Murktide. They Thought Scoured and both went into exile. Yeah, Unholy Heat and Darcy. My opponent passes back to me. Oh, Solitude's a nice draw. Okay. So we'll just get in with our Sanctifiers to start with. So they haven't left out the ability to Archmage's Charm, so I am just going to eternalize my Timeless Dragon. And pass to them. Thought Scour in my end step. So it was double Ragavan that both go into exile. Another Consider. Looks like they did not mill with Consider. Okay, Murktide reach for our opponent. Big ol' 8/8 Murktide. E for 0 to deal with Timeless Dragon, sure. Well, they fought through our Timeless Dragons pretty well. Ooh, unfortunate opponent. Unfortunate. Unless they have Counterspell, but then they die to Timeless. I think I'm good here. Yep, beautiful. So, for anyone who missed that, Timeless Flicker Wisp would have flickered away their Murktide, and then the Sanctifiers would just go in for lethal, because they needed to not only deal with this, because this is a lethal threat by itself, but also these two. So, we got there, 2 and 1. Let's go into match number 4. Alrighty, match number 4 with Arbiterless Taxes. We've got what I'm told is a good hand here. That's Esper Sentinel leading into turn 2 Thalia, which is one of our stronger taxing plays. Probably not as good on the draw, but we will keep. Apparently it's Urza's Mine. Okay, we have the tech edge, so I'm kind of happy about that. Thalia's going to slow them down, so we can buy a turn, but we are on the draw. Ooh, Aether Vial. Okay, okay. What does Aether Vial do for us? I don't think we have time to play Aether Vial. I mean, we do, we just don't play Sentinel. Maybe that's... Yeah, let's play out the Vial. Excuse me? Botanical Sanctum? What? Okay, Solitude, sure. We are just going to lead out on Thalia. Resolves, cool. I'm going to Vial in the Sentinel now because this is our nice little taxing lock. Do we get on turn 2? So I suppose, I don't know what... I just have not played with Sentinel before, so I didn't realize that like playing the Vial was pretty free there on turn 1. I'm glad I stopped and thought about it and didn't just trust my brain. My brain's dumb. Opponent is gut-shotting the Thalia, and they paid for the Sentinel tax. Okay. What? Yeah, sure. Trinket Mage. Cool, cool, cool. Walking Ballista. Okay. Yes, we'll take file up to 2. It's got no 2-drop, so I'm just going to plain cycle my Timeless Dragon. And just pass through the turn. Oh, I suppose the Timeless Dragon's not looking great here against my opponent's random relic. I actually thought they were going to pop it before because it does nothing against us. But it does do something against us currently. That's fine. What are you up to, opponent? What's this for 4 mana? Ballista for 2? Sure. I'm just going to Skyclave that next turn. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Vial go to 3. Another vial, okay. So let's just Skyclave here. We will eat the Blister, so they kind of have to sack both counters off, because even if they let this resolve, like, it's going to be a 0 under the Skyclave, so they'll get a 0/0 token for it. So they can either kill the Skyclave or the Sentinel here. I'm giving them the choice. Okay, so they're killing off the Sentinel, so they should ping me for 1 here to go with it. Yep, nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything. They got 3 cards in hand. They're nowhere near Tron. Do I just want to get this off the table? No, probably not. Khan the Great Creator. Jeez, I'd love to like flick with Skyclave to eat that. So what I'm going to do... Yeah, sure. We will bring in a Flicker Wisp. Yeah. Flicker Skyclave. Cool. So Khan resolves. Down ticks. Probably grabbing a Ballista from the board. I'd have to assume. Yep. Walking Blister it is. Okay. So Skyclave Late Khan. No, we'll leave Island 3. Okay, so this list is going to be pretty well priced. What I can do actually, I could Tech Edge them and Flick Wisp away a land. Kind of like that. Or kind of just do either, but if they have a land drop, it's bad. Okay, let's just get in with Flicker Wisp. You know, let's play the Stoneforge. We will grab Caldra, I believe. We'll grab Maul. Maul's kind of just fine, actually. We'll grab Maul. Uh-oh. I needed an upkeep stop. I needed an upkeep stop if I wanted to Violent Flickers to take away a land there, which I think I did. It's fine. They do it for 2, and they're kind of priced into... Well, they're not really priced into taking on the Stoneforge anymore, are they? This is probably fine. Oh, they're going to beginning of combat? Yeah, okay. What do they have? Well, we're going to put the Flicker Wisp in. I should have done it before end step. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Yeah, because I could have flickered this and got the Caldra. I think I'm going to do it anyway. I think just because I misplayed a little there doesn't mean I shouldn't still go for this line. I need to... The issue I keep having here is that I don't have like custom stops set up for this. At least I'm forcing action on them here, so they're not going to dismember the Stoneforge. I mean, that's fine. It costs them 4 life. Do I want to take Vile up towards 5? I mean, probably. Stoneforge? Let's just play Maul so we can load up the Skyclave and get in for 10. What have you got, opponent? What is this deck? Yeah, sure. Relic to draw. Dinglake Dismember. I mean, that's fine. Like, you still take the 4 that you were going to take anyway. And they get a 4/4. That's also fine. Get in. Okay, so they're on 1. They need to play the Ballista to deal with both of these. Oh, it's a 3/3 Ballista. It's kind of unfortunate for me. Okay, they get in for 6. Alright, my turn. We will take Vile up to 5 now. Tectonic Edge. Take him off 2 lands. Play Stoneforge. Get Caldra. Just like pretty lethal. Alright, let's attack. This forces them to use their Ballista. So Ballista shoots down both my Flicker Wisps. I'm definitely going to Solitude now. The question is if I double Tech Edge them, or if I play the Stoneforge. If I play the Stoneforge, I can still single Tech Edge, so let's do that. Grab Keldra. Tech Edge, they're botanical, and we will Solitude the Ballista, let them go up to 2 if they want to. But now we have like lots of lethal threats going on, and they're like, they don't have many things they can play here. Yep, we win game 1, let's go to sideboarding before game 2. So blue-green Tron apparently. Relic Water seems nice. This is a matchup where I would love to have the Revokers in the board still, even though normally I'm not a fan of having Revoker at all. I think this looks good. What doesn't look good? I don't think I need all the Givers. I don't think I need all the Thalias. I mean, I probably just don't need all the Skyclaves either. Or should I should probably cut Timeless Dragon. Kinda don't need Batterskull either. Let's try cutting Batterskull and a Vial because they have let's try that. Alright, so we are on the draw. We have Sentinel into Thalia with Tech Edge. Sounds pretty capable. Opponent leads on Power Plant. Alright, we've drawn the Vial, and as we've learned in the past, I should have led Mishra's Factory probably, but that's fine. So turn 2 I'll be able to deploy a Sentinel and a Thalia. This is a matchup where I would love to have the Sentinel out already, but it's kind of whatever. 2 Urzlands into Talisman, sure. Into Map, okay. Alright, Vial on 1. We will lead Factory. So we might just want to start attacking with it as soon as possible. Violin Esper Sentinel. And pass back to our opponent. Alright, they have assembled Tron. And they have nothing to do with it apparently. So we'll tick Vial up to 2. I suppose just holding up the ability to activate Tectonic Edge. It's unfortunate, they have a lot of mana because this stupid Talisman. They have Trinket Mage, sure. I'm going to respond to that and just kill the power plant. Doesn't really matter, they'll just get Tron in response, yeah. This might influence what they get, so maybe he was wrong. So you get like a Wormcoil here or something. Or a Walking Ballista, sure. I don't think we can beat Walking Ballista. So I need to draw something that takes out that Walking Ballista. Vial goes up to 3. Solitude does deal with Walking Ballista. Okay, yeah, so if I do it, then they play Thalia. I've taken them off Tron. Yeah, so I'm just going to do this now. Exiling Maul the Skyclave. Yeah, exile Maul. And we'll exile their Walking Ballista. So they're probably going to shoot down Thalia and Esper Sentinel in response. Yeah. I probably should have stacked the triggers properly just to threaten Ephemerate the Solitude, which might have made them kill it with Ballista. So I'm going to play out the Thalia here, which means I'll play out the Cave, because it'll come in tapped. And just hope our opponent doesn't have another Urza's Power Plant, I guess. Oh, they have the map, so they'll just get the Power Plant here. That's fine. Well, they can still play a Khan Great Creator, which they appear to not have. Okay. Probably should have played Canopy because of specifically like there being a Tectonic Edge next on top. We're going to leave this on 3. Drop turn Stoneforge. Very nice. So we're going to leave with the ability to animate Factory and the ability to pop Canopy here. Play Stoneforge. Yeah, I took out the Batterskull, I believe, so my only option is Caldra here. Alright, so we grabbed Caldra. We'll get in for 2 with Thalia. Because of first strike there, Inky Dinky little Trinky won't be able to block too effectively. Gut shot, get out of it, you scrub. So if I draw with Canopy and I find Flicker Wisp, I can save it. I'm thinking about that life, as long as I didn't sideboard out my Flicker Wisps. Which I did not. Drew Plains anyway, so it didn't matter. Bloody gut shot, hey? Alright, opponent, you've got a million mana. I've got nothing. What you got? Jesus, another Ballista. Ugin the Spirit Dragon. You got it, opponent. I think I like how we sideboarded. I mean, let's just... Do I want to bring in a Vial again? No, I think I like how our deck looks. Maybe I want these Giver of Runes, actually. Let's say I want the Giver of Runes and the Vial. Let's cut the Timeless Dragons. I don't think the game's going long enough for us to get to Timeless Dragon. Got a Vile Hand, Stoneforge, Skyclave. Yeah, whatever, we'll keep. Just because our opponent's on weird Tron, and I think that we might actually be able to get away with this. Just a fast Keldra, you know? And we'll lead on Factory, because I probably want to just start beating him with Keldra. Okay, they're leading Tower, sure. Vile on 1. So if I play Stoneforge, I can get with Keldra next turn. I think I just have to. We'll pass back to our opponent. No, they've got Dismember. Piss off. Must be nice to have it all, always, all the time. We still haven't... Have I seen any colored spells other than Trigger Mage? Have we seen why they have green randomly? Vile on 2. Drew nothing. So I can Skyblade this Talisman. But I think I like just getting in with Mishra's Factory here. Because we'll be able to Vile this in next turn, so... I think it's fine. I should have played that first, because I could have used the bloody tap ability. Let's hope our opponent doesn't survive on 1 later this game. A Hydroid Crassus, okay. This is why they've got blue and green in their deck, I guess. Cool, okay. We will tick up to 3. Do Tectonic Edge? I don't really care. I think I'm just going to Skyclave that Crassus and get in with both my factories. Yes. I suppose I could have just got in with 1 factory, but attack all. Get them down to 11. See what they've got. If they play a second Tron land here, I will tech edge them. Trinket Mage, okay. What are they finding? Ballista? It's just going to be the stupid Ballista again. Just can't escape their freaking walking ballistas. Yeah, another Ballista. How fun. We will leave the Vial where it is. Another Skyclave. It's kind of nice, kind of nice. So, if I Skyclave Trinket Mage, I can get him for 6 here. And then the Ballista... Otherwise... Oh, then the Ballista doesn't... I think they just died a Maul then. Let's try it. Put Skyclave into play. Take away Trinket Mage. Because they can only Ballista for like 3 at most, and a Ballista for 2 is good enough to like take something out. Let's animate a factory. Animate another factory. Play planes, I suppose. Attack with all. Get them to 5. This would be 4 if I wasn't an idiot, so that's something to remember. Because like with all these 2/2s, 4 would be a pretty relevant number, wouldn't it? This is a Ballista for 3, sure. Okay, we'll leave the Vial where it is. Sunbaked Canyon. Okay, so let me think. If we animate a factory that costs 1, so then I can put Maul on it. If they try and kill it, the other factory protects it. I think that's game. Play the Maul. Because the Maul gives +2, +2/+2. Yeah, they're just dead. They're just super dead. Put that on Maul. Oh, maybe not. Did I mess this up? No, I didn't. Because now they'll shoot again. And I will pump it. So then he shoot again. Their Ballista's gone. These two get to get in. I suppose they live on 1, yeah. Nice. They'll live on 1. Yeah, so they would be dead if I wasn't an idiot. So let's hope they don't draw anything that punishes us. Which like an Ugin doesn't, because we still have a factory. Trinket Mage doesn't punish us. They can get Ballista for 2. They're still dead. Yep, they get Ballista. Which I believe they're still dead. We'll do the maths when it comes to my turn, I suppose. So we'll leave Vial on 3. Oh yeah, Leonin Relic Water makes it super lethal. That was a really good draw. They might have been dead anyway, because like, trying to attach Maul, they have to shoot this down. And then I just get to animate a factory. So this is going to force the issue here. I suppose they get to shoot... What have we got? 3-drop and a 2-drop. Yeah, that was dumb on my part. Yes, they get a 3/3. Oh, but now I just attach Maul to Skyclave. Yeah, nice. Woo! Alright, going into the 5th match. We are 3-1, so we will get some chests regardless, but let's see if we can get a 4-1 with this deck. That'd be great. That'd be kind of indicative of how I feel like I go with this deck in paper. We've got a full end here. We have Tech Edge Mistress Factory though, so it doesn't feel that bad. We have Giver, we have Skyclave. I think because we're on the draw, it's pretty kind of nice to be able to lead Vile and Violin to give us, so we are going to keep. Our opponent leads Zagoth Triumph tapped. It's, I think, good for us. We'll lead Cave the Frost Dragon because it only comes in untapped on the first, if it's one of only 2 lands in play. Violin go. Misty from my opponent. We will tick our Vile up to 1. Skyclave's not a bad draw. I probably should have led Factory so I could have gotten in here, but like, I don't think I'm attacking into this kind of manner anyway. Let's just pass it there. Alright, opponent fetches. Ooh, okay. A snow land here. And a snow basic. So they have Ice Fang Codals, we know that much. Sultai Charm. Okay. Here comes the Giver of Runes. Okay, Stoneforge. Yeah, I think I'm just playing Stoneforge here. Even though we could threaten path by leaving up a white mana, I'm going to leave the Factory here. Because we have Giver, we are just going to get Caldra. Because they don't appear to have white mana, so I'm not worried about Prismatic Ending. I'm going to leave up the Factory because they might have like... They could have like Leonin Arbiter or other things to make us sack creatures. So if they do, I'll just animate this and sack this. Okay, they're a Wilderness Wreck deck. They're playing Growth Spiral. It's good to know. Pass to us. We draw another Stoneforge. Play the Tech Edge. I'm going to hold the Tech Edge up because I am worried about what they could do. So we'll activate Stoneforge. We'll hold up the ability to Mistress Factory as well, just in case. I could get in with the Factory here. So it's 19, so it's 7, it's 14. So it'd be a 3-turn clock as opposed to a 4-turn clock. I can't imagine them playing anything that I need to immediately Tech Edge. If they play 4th Land and Wilderness Wreck, actually, I do want to be able to Tech Edge them. Oh, good guy opponent concedes there. I forgot to attack with my Caldera, but I'm pretty sure they just missed their fall. I think they conceded because the writing was on the wall with this Caldera. But yeah, skipping through combat there was silly of me. Let's go into the sideboard. So we're versing Wreck. So we know these Relic Waters are going to be good. Forge Tenders shouldn't do anything. Sanctifiers shouldn't do anything. Prelate is interesting. I'm assuming Rip does nothing. Dranith they should only be casting from hand. So what I like here is I like the Relic Waters, I like the Prelates. Because we know that they're on Wilderness Wreck, Prelate on 4 is really good. We can also Prelate on 3 to stop them from Archmage's Charm stealing our Keldra token, which I really like. So Skyclave can take Wreck, which is nice. They might not have creatures for Solitude to deal with. Let me think. And if they do, Skyclave should probably deal with. Like Thalia's pretty good. Stoneforge is good. Sentinel's good. Giver's like we could trim Giver. Let's see. We could trim Giver. We can trim Thalia. We can cut Batterskull. Trim a Vial. Let's try that. Or do I want to cut Timeless? No, Timeless Dragons. Timeless Dragon seems good here, actually. It's just whether I want the Solitudes or not. Let's try this and see how it goes. That goes a little high, but this is a grindy matchup, so it should be fine. We don't need to like play a super low curve. So what's this hand doing for us? We've got the Stoneforge, we've got the Prelate, which, yeah, we're just going to keep this. Flick Wisp will be nice for the Stoneforge, potentially. Okay, they lead Delta into Tap Zagoth Triumph. Interesting, they're doing it now because they know we're a Taxes deck. That's pretty clever. We brought in Relic Water, but I don't think I need to play it with double white, but I'm not, like, not playing Stoneforge on 2. I don't think I need the option to attack with a Factory. Okay, Snow Island. I'm assuming this is a Growth Spiral they're holding up. So let's force them to maybe have removal instead. We are just going to get Caldera once again. Just force the issue. Ice Fang Curdle, okay. That's not really that scary. Growth Spiral would have been scary because it would have meant they could have untapped and wrecked here, whereas being able to Prelate on 4 is going to be really good here. Although I'm pretty sure I'm just Caldering. They attack, yeah. Aether Vial's nice. Let's play Vial. I mean, they might be holding up a counterspell here, but this is... Yeah, nice. The Vial doesn't really matter at this point. Just kind of something to do. Put Caldera into play. Make sure we don't skip through combat. Get in for 5. Our opponent has 3 turns to answer this. Unfortunately, they can untap and wreck, which our Prelate is kind of... But I think Prelate on 4 is still going to be good, even if they do resolve wreck here. Jace? Jace is fine. Okay. So we've got a land. So I kind of want to factory kill the Jace. Stoneforge doesn't do anything then. I've got 2 mana left over after that. So if we Solitude the Jace... Sorry, Solitude the Codal to get at the Jace. Pitching Flicker Wisp. Pitching Sentinel. Pitching... Nah. They only have 1 Snowland. So I suppose I can animate both factories and get in at Jace and they can't deal with it. Attack Jace. Attack Jace. Attack them. So Jace was a 4 mana bounce spell for Keldra, which is fine. We'll hold up the ability of Solitude if that's something we need to do. So they still will only have 1 snow permanent. Because they're just leaving all their mana up. I'm tempted to not even, like, cast spells. I suppose we can lead Esper Sentinel pretty safely. 5 mana, so like 2 more mana, we get to start equipping this Keldra. Yeah, we're just doing this, I suppose. If they have another Codal, though... No, it's fine. The Solitude's a blowout then. That's cool. Just get a Grassy. Okay, they're fetching. So yeah, they're going to get a Snow Basic here. Play a Codal. They'll assume both have Death Touch and block. So I let them block. I could do it now so they take more damage, but like, if I let them double block, they're probably going to double block my lands, and then I get to get rid of both Codals. I think at this point, I'm pitching the Prelate. I could have Counterspell here, which is fine. Nice. Okay, awesome. So 1 Codal down, this one no longer has Death Touch, and will get eaten by my Mishra's Factory. Ooh, they've got something. Abrupt Decay, the Sentinel. Okay. Paying the cost, sure. Don't know that you need to do this now, opponent, but that's fine. So we put them to 12. They've got 3 cards in hand. Ooh, Field of Ruin's annoying. They're still just holding up mana, though. So I can give a... So Field of Ruin lets them get a Snow Base, so they have another Codal. I think I still just want to try and get in with my Mishra's Factories. If I animate 1... Let's start with... No. There's no point starting with Flicker Wisp, is there? Let's animate you. Yeah, I kind of just want to force the issue on this Field of Ruin. Let's just animate both. Let's get in with everybody. Okay, they're Field of Ruin, one of the factories. We'll get to Plains. Ooh, a Swamp. Fatal Push the other factory. Sure. They're down to 1 card in hand. They're down to 11. And I am going to cast Flicker Wisp, Flicker the Cauldra, and pass. Cauldra comes back, Living Weapon triggers, there is a new gem. So my opponent has 2 cards to play with here to answer my board. And they scoop it up. We 4-1 the league. Alright, let's go to the post-league wrap-up. Okay, so that league went 4-1 with 0-2 against Hammer Time as a loss, and then the wins were 2-1 against Blue Red Phoenix, 2-1 against 2-0 against Blue Red Vagabond, 2-1 against Blue Green Tron, and 2-0 against Sultai Wreck. So, how did we feel about the list? I mean, I'll be honest, I was not impressed by Esper Sentinel too much. It did tax my opponents, and like they did kind of have to do it. So like, I suppose it didn't look impressive, but it was impressive because like they kept having to deal with it, and like, you know, throwing their removal spells at it. So it did kind of suck in all the attention, which was nice. Stoneforge for Keldra is still nice. I really like the equipment package. It never came up, but we can shoot a Maul to pitch to Solitude, which is something I did think about doing. There were a few times where I shooted up Maul and was considering pitching to Solitude, but ended up playing it. Battleskull again is like iffy. I think it's better than Sword of Fire and Ice. And I think we do want it. Like it'd be in the sideboard if it wasn't in the main. So it's kind of fine to have in the main just bought out all the time. I also know that is a me thing. Like not every Taxes player boards out their Battleskull as often as I do. The Thalias were good. I like having 4 again. I like being able to just board out one if need be. The Flicker was actually really, really solid. Like they kept resetting Caldras and winning us games. I'm kind of happy to be back on 4, except for the fact that Tron opponent with their Ballistas was very taxing on her X1s. But I mean, that's what you get. The Solitudes were good. I do admit that I missed Path and Arbiter. Like the Sentinels weren't too impressive, and the Solitudes were kind of whatever. Like the Path out of the board did work. Skyclaves are still fantastic as always. Files and Givers are really good. The mana base was solid. Tech Edge in the Tron matchup didn't look at its best, but you know, there was one Tron game where I was trying to tech edge and my opponent had exactly Tron and not a fourth land because I'm an idiot. And in that exact scenario, I think I had 3 lands, so a Field of Ruin would have taken them off Tron, but it would have got them a land. So I don't. I think tech edge was fine in its role. The canopy lands were good. I still think they're worth having. One thing I will say is that with all the double white spells on the board, something I've liked to do in the past is have like Ghost Quarter and flag zones of Trocare. So I could see 4 of these planes just becoming flag zones and these tech edges becoming Ghost Quarters to support us in doing that, in having access to our double white spells out of the board easier. Because there was games where I sideboarded down to oblivion because I kept seeing these hands with like a bunch of colorless lands. The Cave of the Frost Dragons never came up, but also they never punished us for being tap lands, so I still really like Cave of the Frost Dragon. And Mistress Factory was awesome. Like it won us a lot of games by itself. I am in love with this land in this deck. I really, really, really think Mistress Factory is the way to go. And then Timeless Dragon. Timeless Dragon was cool. It wasn't insanely powerful. I think it was like just the blue-red Murktide matchup where it really showed its strengths. There were other times where it was just a nice curve filler and just like, you know, being turn 4, having 3 lands and just a 2-drop to play where you just get like Plane Cycle, get a land just to make sure you can like start getting towards casting these Solitudes and stuff. But I think how I feel about this deck is the cards that were the least impressive were kind of all of these, which were all the new cards. Like Timeless Dragon was the most impressive out of the lot, but I think like what I could see, because yeah, Solitude was not that Solitude was bad, but just that like there were times where I would have honestly rather just had Path, because something I find in the way I play Taxes is that using the Swords to Plowshare effect of Solitude and like giving your opponent that life is harder for me to come back from than giving them a land off Path, because often I'm like trying to optimize my clock with like Caldera and Mishra's Factory. It is nice that Solitude's free, so it doesn't get in the way of like animating factories, but Path only costs 1 mana, so it's kind of whatever. Whereas like legitimately like considering ticking Vase up to 5 to play Solitude and like having to lose cards in hand, like, you know, against the Rec deck, I would have rather not had to Solitude them and, you know, pitch my Sanctum Prelate, because Sanctum Prelate on 4 seemed like it still would have been good there. But there's things like that that I had to do, and like, yes, it's nice that ticking up Vile to 5 kind of does double work in being for both of these cards, but I don't think it's really necessary. And I think like even if I go back to the old list, like 2 Solitude is correct. So I could see like these just being Ghost Quarters again, these being Arbiters again, and like these just being 4 paths to Solitude, and then the Timeless Dragons just being in the board where the paths are, like, because that's what I was originally going to test, was just these Timeless Dragons in the board. Although with that said, the slot that they were taking up, you know, because like originally these were in the board and these paths were main and all these changes happened. The 2 slots that I made room for these extra 2 sideboard cards were my Phyrexian Revokers, which actually would have looked really good in like, especially in the Tron matchup. With that said, Ghost Quarter and Arbiter would make the Tron matchup pretty clean again, but yeah, it is interesting. I kind of am thinking I'll lean back towards Arbiter, even though we did just 4-1. As you can see on the side here, I do have my old list still. This is my old Arbiter list, and this is the new Arbiterless list. So I might just flop back and forth between the two and like alternate leagues with them and kind of see how they feel. I did like the Timeless Dragon. I don't know that it was necessarily great, but I did like it. Before we go, we will open the chesties we own. We got 5 chests there. Open them one at a time. Let's go. Branch Sloth Pathway. It's the green-white. Nice. Some play points. What do we get for this one? Bishop of Wings and Orb of Dreams. Okay, interesting. Another chesty. What do we get? Random Demon Spirit thing from Kamigawa. Some Kamigawa nonsense. Another one. We've got Emperor Crocodile. Sure, sure. And our 5th chest, what do we get? Ooh. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. We got a Chalice of the Void and an Uro. What a pack. I mean, this is banned in any format that matters, and I already own a playset of Chalice on here, but that's going to be worth some ticks, surely. And a cool avatar with a bunch of cats. Very nice. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and enjoyed seeing Death and Taxes get a decent result for once. If you liked it, leave me a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see me play in the future. Is there anything in Taxes you think I should try out? Like maybe something that was suggested last video was running Aven Mind Sensor in there, which I could see over the 2 Timeless Dragon slots. So that could be something I try out. Regardless, thank you for watching. And until next time, bye-zy.